Welcome to Record of Ragnarok, Chapter 101. We are making our way towards, well, we already are at, the triple digits. And last we left off, so welcome if you just clicked onto this video, because 101 also came out, like, literally now, so we're eating good today. They both just used their crazy abilities. He was able to clone, like, hundreds of... only his mythological, like, gods. I've still noticed that, by the way. Probably because he's only touched them, maybe. But then Simo just went and destroyed, like, all of them, even the super clone. So, let's see what happens. 101. I didn't even get the name of the... I always forget that the name is on the top this time. Heim Skringla was chapter 100. Sacrifice and Atonement is the name of 101. The battlefield is shrouded in snow and silence, and the clones dissipate into nothingness. And the light of God, the fucking glowing light that the bullet, like, expelled was awesome. Everyone, humans and gods are like, holy shit. One shot! I know, right? The countless copies of the three gods were nearly all annihilated in a single blow. I love the instant replay. The single bullet he shot split into countless pieces. It became a scattering shot and made the god's blood spurt into the bloody flowers to blossom. Yeah. And Loki's like, what a matchup. He's hiding behind a tree. Judging from the direction of the light and the sound of the gunshot, and taking into account the scope of the damage, he is most likely hiding around there. I like how Loki is taking this a little more seriously now, because his whole army was just destroyed, so he's like, okay, I gotta pinpoint this guy, like, now. He needs to. But he might be able to find where he was hiding. I'm just wondering what happened with Simo's, like, I don't think it was his mouth, because the blood was, like, right here. Not up here. But that could just be like an artist's, like, maybe the artist just drew the blood there, but it actually came from his mouth, like he's coughing blood. But it seemed lower than normal. It seemed like it was on his chin. But who knows? Simo Häyhä has already vanished from his hiding spot. Even with this many cameras, we can't keep up with him. I know, ain't that crazy? At least Loki can't hear you. I would like to assume that Loki can't hear Heimdall speaking like that, because that would be an unfair advantage. He'd be like, oh, Simo's gone, and Loki's like, oh, he's gone? Okay, like, yeah, I hope he can't hear you. And the falling snow is erasing all his traces. That's true. Where did he disappear to? Amazing. That's the strongest sniper in the history of humanity. That's the power of a sniper. With this, the number of enemies is irrelevant. It'll be a piece of cake. Way to go, Simo Häyhä. Marvelous. Like, she also goes, Mass-produced fakes are all like that, aren't they? Absolutely. There's no comparison between those things and the original. That's true. Nevertheless, even so, I'm a little concerned. What are you talking about? That was just one bullet that fragmented into a buckshot. That attack was terrifying, astonishing. I never imagined something like that. Is that so? By the way, what is the meaning of buckshot? Oh, great, we're getting... He's gonna explain how basically a shotgun works, how a buckshot works. I guess it makes sense. The Valkyries don't know much about firearms, huh? So... Little Hlock hates words she doesn't understand, don't you know? She's pulling on his mustache. A regular bullet is essentially a point. The attack is focused on a single point with high piercing power and a long range. Yep. In contrast, a buckshot is an area attack, an AoE, scattering multiple small projectiles at once. Damages a wide area, but it lacks piercing power and the range is short. It's not good for sniping. But he has managed to make a sniping buckshot bullet. However, none of the drawbacks I mentioned were apparent in the attack from a moment ago. The effective range, penetrating capability, and accuracy of the shot are not normal for a buckshot. Indeed. Because it pierced like every single clone. It wasn't completely randomized. Or maybe it was. It was just so many buckshots that it hit everything in its path. There's likely some kind of special power behind this. I wonder what kind of emotion is contained within that bullet. And he really wants to know. His eye is glowing again. Could be the Voland, right? Special power. Even if they are fakes, witness my godly pal Heracles being killed again is such a terrible feeling. And to make it worse, by a mere gun! There's no doubts that firearms produced by human civilization shouldn't even be able to harm a god's body. But would the same apply to copies created by divine power? Probably, yeah. Assuming it's a Voland or just some other thing. God damn it, Hermes! What are your thoughts? Please tell me! Well, I don't know either. It's even possible. Is it even possible to accomplish such a thing with Voland or shared destiny? Or perhaps you've prepared some other trick, my dear young Brunhilde. Perhaps so. Goal? Oh, she hasn't seen Goal in a while because they're still in the prison, right? Getting all the juicy lore dump. Goal? I'm not Goal, big sis. Still, is everything all right with Lil Goal? I hope she comes back soon. Also, hi, Buddha. Lord Buddha. No, it's nothing. Is there something you need? I was watching the match and something caught my attention. That sniper boy. He is a terrifying fellow, wouldn't you agree? The shared destiny I taught you. Oh. It's a technique where humans and Valkyries combine their souls, which allows a human's body and a Valkyrie's weapon, forged through Voland, to be more effective against the gods. I forgot. Wait. I might just be stupid and forgot. But Buddha was the one that taught that? That actually makes a lot of sense, since it's Buddha, I guess you could say. But again, I like how it's showing every single Valkyrie using Voland with everybody else, except for Adam, right? He was the only one that didn't, if I recall correctly. Or am I stupid? Man, it's been so long. I've only read this manga once, so... Oh, wait, never mind. I see Adam right there with... Never mind. Never mind. This just means I need to reread this entire manga, so... Because whenever I do these streams, I only read it once. So there will be details that I forget unless I go back, so I need to go back. So, even if a Valkyrie becomes a gun through Voland, or even if they share their souls with a human through shared destiny, what would really work against the god is only the human's body, or the gun itself. So you're saying, if it's the gun, then it wouldn't be the bullet, but if it's through his, body, it also... Wouldn't that still... Unless you prepared special bullets for him, what he fired is just normal bullets. Or so it should be. Yeah, because if a Voland becomes like a sword, it's just the entire sword. But if it becomes a gun, it can't just become the ammo. Because you run out of ammo and you need more ammo. The Voland... And if it's his body, sure, it enhances his body. But, it won't enhance the weapon. It has to be the weapon. Wait, yeah, he's got a point. Isn't that right? What exactly are those bullets? Brunhilde, I have nothing to do with this. What? That's the price to pay. The price? Among all of humanity, no, even if we were to include every single god, I believe that Simo Häyhä is the only one who can fire those bullets. What happened at that time? What he put in that bullet was what? Kidney. Munuainen. Kidney. And it shows his right kidney, and as he fires it, so that was blood coming from his mouth. I'm just fucking stupid. It just was drawn lower than I thought it was, but his kidney just, it looks like it just implodes into itself, and it completely just, it forms into like some kind of like ball of energy, and then it goes up his body, up his left arm, enters the chamber, and turns into the bullet. And then what? Oh. Reaper's contract, Isanma. Bro. What? Can she like help him? Is she making him survive? Like, let's say he loses like another kidney. You can't live without both kidneys. But since she exists helping his body, can she keep him alive just for a little longer? Or is she really just, she is the one that's turning it into the energy, so he can't go too far without killing himself? Man, I don't want him to die. If he wins and dies, I'm gonna lose it. That's, fuck. That's right. He created that incredibly powerful bullet by using one of his organs. That is the most insane shit. Oh my god. If that was just his kidney, imagine, I don't fucking know, like any other, like, crazy fucking organ. I don't fucking know. Your Achilles, not your Achilles, your, I forgot what it's called because I'm too brain dead right now. As the price. An organ for a bullet? Nope. Isn't that way too painful? I mean, if the bullet is part of his body, it makes sense. It works against gods. But why is he fighting like that? That does make sense. Now that I'm thinking, like, yeah, that is how the Voland works at the end of the day, since it's connected with them. And that enhances their ability to, and even, like, with the weapon. Yeah, you know what? That makes sense. That's actually genius to know that's how the gun will damage the gods. Because if it was any other way, it's not going to work. But that's so fucking insane. But I guess, what other way are they going to keep creating bullets? They wouldn't there is no other way, because then it just wouldn't damage the gods. It's easy if it's a sword, because, you know, it just becomes part of that soul and then the sword. But with a gun, you have to keep making the bullets. It's not an infinite number. So that's why this works, but that's so crazy. Such a thing goes far beyond simply having a clear mind. I respect that guy. What kind of life did he live to become like that, I wonder? Simo Häyhä became a war hero by killing innumerable enemies. However, even though he was fighting to protect his fatherland, the act of shooting people for him, and it shows in the past when he did that, was an unbearable pain. He just didn't want to fire upon, like, just all those people, just in general. Like, it was mentally painful. Therefore, this power of his was created. The unbearable pain he's feeling right now, destroying both his body and spirit, is atonement. Huh. Therefore, for Simo Häyhä. And as he's running, he reloads another shot. What organ is he going to use next as he stands atop this tree here? Maska. Liver. Bro, this battle is not going to last long if this keeps happening. Reaper's contract to Isanma. I keep saying Isayama, like fucking Attack on Titan. No, Isanma. Anyway, Maska, liver, goes up his body. That pain. Bro, this guy is raw as shit. This guy's raw as shit. The glowing bullet. That pain is his salvation. This panel goes hard as fuck, dude. Look at him just... Oh, I don't know why the stream's making it like that. Here, let me zoom in once. That's fucking sick, bro. Oh. That single shot destroys him. Ah, okay, Norse mythology stuff. Simo's name can't be written with the dots over the A because of the app he uses. Ah, yeah, that's why the... Okay. That's why the umlauts weren't there. Oh, that's fair. Dude, that's peak. Using your organs to save humanity and atoning for your sins. My man, dude, this battle might be the shortest battle ever, but it might be the most effective battle ever, you know? People are saying, what if it becomes a tie if they both die? But it depends. One has to die first, then the other. That's how you win. Whoever dies first. If they die like at the minute like seconds at the same time, then it's a draw. But if he like kills Loki and then dies like 5 minutes later, well, Simo wins because Loki died first. But they might just both die. Like, that's insane. I always love... I just love how the stories are... How the storytelling is done in Ragnarok. I've always said this, but it's really sick. Some guy's saying, is this accurate to how Simo is? Because when he was interviewed, he said, I was just fulfilling my duty. But isn't that the case? He was just fulfilling his duty, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't painful when he did so. Plus, stories like this don't have to be completely one-to-one realistic to everything in history, obviously, with how these abilities are used and like how the characters are. So, I mean, take a look at Tesla. You see how crazy Tesla was compared to the Tesla in real life? So, yeah. Oh, man. Oh, one guy's saying he might sacrifice his left and right nut. He'll be like Okarun. That makes sense. That makes sense. I really hope that he survives, though, especially because his dog is... If he dies and his dog is left with no one, I'm gonna riot. Speaking of dogs, you can hear that dog down there. Well, great set of 2 chapters. Dude, the fact that he atones for this by doing this to himself, but it increases his power. I wonder what this liver bullet will do. Never thought I'd say a sentence like that in my life, but here we are. So, fucking awesome shit, man. So thanks for watching. I'll see you for 102 when that comes out. I'm guessing just, later in April. About a month-ish from now, so... I just hope I want him to win, obviously. Loki is fun and all, but... he needs to lose. This might be the shortest battle in the whole series, but the most effective one. So, thanks for watching. Although, to be fair, humans have a lot of organs. Maybe it won't be the shortest battle. Humans have a lot of organs. They can survive a bit without some of them. Kinda. Like, use the gallbladder, appendix, anything else, Would your eyes count? No, he needs his eyes. Skin? Well, that would be fucked up. Anyway, have a good one.